All right. Oh my goodness. This seems a little surreal that we're all here. Hopefully my internet holds out. Um, First of all, I just wanted to say welcome and to just kind of explain a little bit about how we got here. Like how I'm sure most of you were invited by either Bethany or me to be on this call tonight and just kind of give you an idea of, again, how that happened and kind of our vision for this call going forward. So if you know me at all, I'm probably just going to tell you it's a God thing because I do think it was just like a God thing how this all got started. But like logistically, it was quite interesting because I noticed that Bethany started commenting that on a particular post and a few others like that she was starting to work again and she was hitting like success mode 10. And so I saw that. And so I kind of reached out to her. I was like, are you, kind of what are you doing? What are your plans? And she just very honest, as she always is, just like openly shared about, where she was at in her business and kind of what her plan was. And to be super honest, like before that, I had been like praying and feeling led and having all the things that like I was supposed to start doing something like for my own team. I've been wanting to do more consistent team calls, and I've been wanting to like really have a leader that has the same vision and the same mindset and the same leading. And so for the past like 6 months, I've been praying and thinking over it. And when Bethany started looking like she was, getting back into the business, I got excited, but I was like, ho, she does not, like, she's way above me. Like I have nothing to offer her. She probably doesn't want to work with me. And so I didn't see anything. I just had messaged her initially and then kind of backed off. And then she messaged me being like, so have you ever thought about, I was like, huh? Because then I was like, she said something about like, have you ever thought about doing like calls or like, what is your team doing? And she just started asking questions. And I was like, oh my goodness, like, I really think that. And the more that we talk, we've been talking for the last couple of weeks on Friday mornings. And it's just like, the more that we talk, the more we realize how aligned we are in why we're doing what we're doing, how we want to train our new coaches, how we want to work this business. And yeah, just our vision for how we want to impact lives, both of customers and coaches. And it was just like, again, a God thing, I think. But yeah, so that's effectively why we're here tonight. I knew for me and my team, I really wanted to create a space on a regular basis. We're thinking every other week right now, where we can come together. Tonight's going to be just more us chatting and getting to know each other. But in the future, we see it more of like us hopefully bringing value to you, right? We're thinking maybe like personal development or devotions or something at the beginning, and then more like just talking about a specific topic of this business, whether it be connecting or inviting or supporting our challengers or something specific that we can all come away with, things that will help us help others and grow our businesses. So as you know, I could talk forever. I'm going to hand it over to Bethany now so she can just share more about her journey of coaching. I'm sure she won't give herself enough credit. She's a rock star, has done a lot with this business that many haven't, and just kind of share her story.
So Caitlin asked me to open in prayer, so I'm going to do that now. And then I'm going to just try to share 10 minutes, just a little bit kind of how the Lord's been working in my life in the last couple of years. So we're going to pray and then I'll get it right into that. Heavenly Father, I just want to thank you for the time we have here together tonight. I want to thank you for each woman on this call and the ones that aren't here tonight that we know will hear this later. I thank you for the dreams that you've given us. I thank you for the calling that you've placed on our lives. And I just pray, Father, that our discussion here tonight will I see some familiar faces on here and I see lots of new faces on here. And like Caitlin said, we've been getting to know each other more over the last month, I would say, especially Caitlin. And I am probably the oldest working coach on the team. Like, I think I am. I started doing this in June 2015 after I had our second. And it was something that I had seen Amber post about, and I knew I was exhausted, and we had just moved and I had no friends and I was super lonely, and it was February in Wisconsin. And so I spent $140 on the 21-day fix DVDs, Shakeology, and containers. And when I did that, I signed up to be a coach. And it truly was something that the Lord just like kept me up with night after night. And long story short, I started coaching. I was really resistant to it at first. Those nights I was kept awake, it was like months of being kept awake. I had no idea how to do Instagram. I wasn't on Facebook. It was all a brand new thing for me. And the Lord grew me and challenged me and in so many ways throughout those years. And I had the privilege of growing a business doing this. Not only like helping myself meet a need with these fitness programs and learning to eat well and fuel my body well, and working through a lot of those things we all work with, just like the mental part, the emotional part of women's health, because there's a lot of layers to that, right? And helping other women hopefully find freedom in that. um 2019, the team I lead is called Team Set Free. 2019 we hit lifetime 5-star. Throughout the years, I've had several coaches on my team hit diamond. But actually leadership 2019 in Scottsdale, Arizona was a really, really eye-opening experience for me. It was very, very good in a lot of ways. It was also shocking in a lot of ways. And I came away from that feeling so grateful that I got to go, but also very unsure of where I fit in the whole Beachbody picture. Frankly, I felt kind of lonely, to tell you the truth. I was super grateful for the handful of individuals, literally just like handful of individuals I felt like I connected with there. Um, because I just thought, Bethany, how good is God that He gave you two people to sit with at breakfast that you could relate to. Like it was, I was incredibly thankful for that, but also felt very, very lost on how to proceed. Because when you get to something like that and it feels like a more elite setting and you have no idea where to fit, it's hard to find leadership at that point to kind of help you navigate what next. So actually, after that, things got put on halt, not because I chose for them to be, but that's what the Lord intended. I kind of came back from that, continued to work through 2020 the way I normally worked, still kind of not sure where I fit. But our son, our fourth, was born in October 2020. I had some complications postpartum, which led to a lot of postpartum anxiety. That didn't end like that. It wasn't 6 weeks, it wasn't a few months, it was like a year plus of trudging through it and trying to kind of work things out. Um, Something I'm extremely grateful for during that time is I was able to still lead a monthly fit team. So I was still working in that regard, but I myself was not in a place physically for a long time that I could even do the workouts that I was coaching other women to do. And so I felt kind of lost there. Um, and last winter, actually, I was just really wrestling with, do I fit here? I kind of came back from leadership. Where do I fit? I'm not sure I belong. Where do I go from here? Having our fourth, going through some anxiety. We homeschooled that year. Everybody had COVID challenges, right? There was just a lot for everybody. And last winter, I was talking with Michelle Myers, who's always been a great mentor of mine. She challenged me with a few things, especially with the things I was praying about as I was trying to navigate this. And I won't go into detail, but the Lord continued to answer prayers in a way that said, Bethany, I'm not done with you here yet. I need you to stay. And sometimes it's not super clear yet, like even quickly, what that means or what that looks like. And so this summer, I realized, you know what? The groups that I run monthly are still really good for me. Like if I strip everything away, why did I begin this, 7 years ago? I still love this community. I still love these workouts. I still love the freedom that this has given me in my overall health, in the way I fuel my body, in the way I think about my body. Um, I love that this gives me a way to encourage and love on others. I love that as a stay-at-home mom and a mom that homeschools now still, I love that it gives my kids an opportunity for me to serve and love on other people outside of our home. It shows them that other people matter, that other people are important. And so kind of going back to what Caitlin said, she had reached out about if I was looking at the diamond retreat, and I was very honest and said, I have no idea. One of the qualifications is I have to hit Success Club 10 every month, and that's not happened. Like I've never been a high Success Club point earner ever. And I mean, Caitlin brings in 20s, like it's nothing, right? And so, and so I said, frankly, I said, I don't know, Amber had reached out and I just said, I don't think SC10 is something I'm going to strive state that puts me in. I know how it throws off other boundaries I've set for myself. If it happens, awesome. But if it doesn't, it's okay. I really want to work for me the way I know I'm supposed to work without any of the external pressures that I felt before, right? And so anyway, all that to say, like the last couple years have been very, very transformative, and I'm not at a place of arrival. None of us ever get to this place of arrival, right? But I'm excited last couple of years, and just this renewed excitement for being here, a fresh perspective. I'm excited to partner with Caitlin and get to work with her and her team, like get to know another team. I'm excited for my coaches to get to know other people who are like-minded. Some of the big things that I haven't even addressed with my team yet, but there's a few things that are going to be just very, very different than what they were 2 years ago. Caitlin and I were talking one day, we talk about certain non-negotiables in this business, right? But when we talk about that, we act like we have control over certain outcomes that we have no control over. We have control over our actions. We have control over the discipline or not we're going to abide by the boundaries that we've set for ourselves in different areas, but we have no control over what another person does. And so much of what we do and so much of what's visible in our business is dependent upon what other people are doing. And so for myself, a big change and something that I know is going to be a growing pain is that it's very possible that I'm not going to be on the leaderboards. And that's something that, I didn't miss Success Club for over 3 years. And it's very possible that that might happen. And knowing where I've been called and how God's asked me to do this, I have to be okay with that happening potentially, right? And not throwing in the towel and feeling less than and feeling like, no, I'm really not supposed to be here. If that's not happening. So anyway, yeah, okay. I've just got to see where I'm at. I'm almost done, I promise, and then I'm going to pass it out to Caitlin. But overall, I think something I've always known, even 2 years ago, it's important to surrender our results, right? We do this the way the Lord's asked us to do this. We're faithful with the opportunity, we steward it well, and we surrender the results. And I think I said that, I thought I knew that, but until now, until I went through 2 years of truly doing that and being okay with that and saying to myself, you know what? It's all right. It's okay that I didn't hit this or that this isn't happening or I'm not having this growth. I'm thankful that to me it's been made much more clear. So the other thing for me is not feeling the pressure to jump on the latest and greatest. Beachbody has gotten so good at coming out with new things all the time, which is wonderful. We can reach more people, right? But when I began, I think I ran for the first 6 months I was coaching, it was 21-day fixed groups. And it was something that I was so invested in and doing myself. It was easy to teach other people. It was easy to encourage people because I genuinely loved it myself. And that's what I was doing. Now that we have so many things coming out, there are things that have come and I should be doing this. I should be trying that. It makes it really hard to find a rhythm, I think. When we're constantly having to add new. And some people do it very, very, very well, but remembering that how they're called to do this might not be how I'm called to do it. And just staying very true and very focused on that. So a lot of that feels scary to me. I think especially like being a leader in the past, knowing that these were the expectations of a leader. It feels scary to know that I'm holding that with open hands more than I ever have, but there's also so much freedom in that. And so I'm just really, really excited to do this more freely than I've ever done it before. So anyway, okay, Caitlin, go ahead.
Oh my gosh, I love you so much. I'm like sweating. I took my shirt off. Well, my sweatshirt off. 'Cause I'm just like, oh, I was telling Bethany, like, I think it's so good for our team to have both of our personalities because they're very different, but like what we're aligned on is so similar. Okay, anyways, I will attempt to be, I'm not going to pretend to be short, but I'll try to keep it shorter than I was probably planning. My background. Okay, so I started coaching within a month or two of my first boot camp. And it was very early on in my experience that I really could tell I needed the extra accountability. I was loving the results. I was like, for sure, thinking so many people were just going to flock to me when I started, like that whole thing. They didn't. And yeah, but I knew that I wanted it for my own accountability. And I knew that I wanted to create communities of my own. So that's what made me just like start. And hindsight, like it was crazy that I thought that was a good time. I was a CPA in international tax heading into a busy season, a tax busy season. It was not good timing, but I knew the same as Bethany, like I knew it was good for my accountability, that I definitely needed it during this tax busy season. So that's why I still went forward with it. And it took me a couple months to find my rhythm, but pretty early on, I mean, it's partly a perfectionist and a like type A mentality, but I pretty consistently hit Success Club. I wasn't really focused on rank at all in the beginning. Like I didn't even hit Emerald for many, many months because I didn't care. I didn't think there was anything of it. And then I found out, oh, I could get leads. So then I hit Emerald, right? And then I found out I could earn a retreat. So then I hit Diamond. So it was very like, if there was a carrot and it seemed good enough, okay, I'll do that then. And so, yeah, within about a year, I hit Diamond. And then, but yeah, with mostly people who wanted a discount, right? But it was really like in those little wins every month and that first year of hitting Diamond, which felt like a feat, that I started having this like seed of hope that like during that year, when I started coaching, I had a 10-month-old one, and like I was pumping and traveling internationally and dealing with tax busy seasons and all the things. And before I had her, I thought I was always going to be a career mom. But after having her, I was one of those, stereotypical women that like everything changed. My priorities changed. And I, at the very least, wanted to stay home for a year if I decided to have another child. And those little wins of Success Club and the little wins of like hitting Diamond and making progress made me think like maybe this could be a way. I never thought I could earn full-time income doing it, but I thought maybe it could close the gap a little bit, that it might make it possible to stay at home if I have another one. And once I started having that seed of hope and talked to my husband about it and all the things, it was like, for the next like year, it was like, go. because I had that goal in mind. So I went hard. I still was working full time. But I sacrificed a lot in that year because I had that goal that I wanted to have that option when I had another baby. Fast forward another year of growing a baby and growing a business. And when I had Charlie, I didn't have the income really I had some, but like nothing like I was making before. It was a total, again, God thing, leap of faith, but I'm financially minded. So we're not dumb. So we also like downsized. We did a lot on our end to make it possible. So yeah, I downsized. I was making some to help, close that gap. And other than that, it was very much like, I knew I was feeling called to take this step of faith. So I did, I stepped away from my full-time job. Shortly after Charlie was born, we downsized, and I wasn't planning on sharing it on here, but like that whole thing, like it hit to the point where like I felt like I was supposed to love my life. And it was like I had postpartum depression after both of my kids. And so yeah, it hit really hard after Charlie and after downsizing and moving and all the things. Like I really struggled for a year then. And I like told myself in my head, like I was gonna have all this time now to like build this. And I mean, we always tell ourselves things like that. And like, yeah, you have a newborn and a baby. I didn't have a quiet commute. I was dealing with postpartum depression. Like I didn't have lunch hours. I had nothing. Like I was on all the time and I was just like trying to get by. So that next year of like my business was stagnant at best, like just trying to like do the basics. I was still hitting Success Club consistently, but it was largely through like existing people getting renewals. But it was kind of just like a baseline that I told myself that like at that time, I also needed money for a family, right? So it was just a lot of stuff going on and I was just getting by. But gosh, I will also say that it was in that year that like my faith grew immensely. And I really didn't talk about this before, but when I originally joined Beachbody, my faith life was non-existent. I grew up in the church, but once I hit adulthood, I kind of just walked away from all of it and figured I'll figure it out later when I get old, maybe before I die, kind of thing. And it was really, honestly, coaching. Like that's one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about coaching, because sharing vulnerably on social media and digging into my own crap, like coaching forces you to do that. In order to be successful, you have to dig into yourself and share your story and figure out what you're feeling and why you're feeling it. And being around, like-minded women that, I could tell by following other people in our groups and Amber, like faith was a huge part of their wellness. And so with the discipline of working out and all the things, I added on spending time in the Bible. And like, again, I really think it was coaching and all the discipline and the persistence and being around inspiring people, like all helped grow my faith. All the way to the point of like quitting my job and taking all these crazy leaps of faith, right? Like I could talk about that all night, just about all the different changes that I experienced. But effectively, so after that year of struggle, good old Sally, who's on the call right now, she was one of my glimmers of hope. I swear, like I told Amber lots of times, like God gives me just enough to keep me here, like just enough to show me like you're still supposed to be here. And like in my business, there's so much of that. And like Sally was one of those that like she showed me she hit diamond for her own goals. Like it wasn't me pushing or pressuring. Like that's how I became a 1-star, because Sally had it in her heart and her mind that this is what she was supposed to do. And she did it. And I was like, oh, and as a leader, like that gives you fresh hope too. And then after another year, then just last year, it was Tessa, who's also on this call. Like she had it in her heart and her goal that she wanted to hit diamond. And I had the crazy idea, I'm going to get my husband to diamond too, and we're going to hit 2-star together. And we did. Largely because we had each other. And so that was a whole growing experience as well. And I realize I keep talking a lot about like 1-star, diamond, 2-star, all these like milestones and Success Club. And after hearing Bethany talk, like I agree with everything she said. And I got there as well, mentality, just a different way. And I think hearing her talk made me realize I have more room to grow there too. because I still take a lot of pride in the fact that I have like 50 or 60 some consecutive months in Success Club. And like a part of me realizes, well, that also is because he's given me the amount of time now that if I am being disciplined with that time and using it well, then I should, right? So it's also a piece of like the time that he's given you and allotted you, and if you're being disciplined and using it well. But that's a whole nother thing, right? We're all being called and given different amounts of time to do this business. Anyways, I realize I keep talking about that stuff, but kind of like Bethany with leadership, I also had, by earning Premier last year, I also had some of those events or moments that you think about getting in. When you're actually there, it opens and digs into you, and different realizations come up, like walking across stage and going to the white party with like all the celebrity trainers. And like, it was interesting because I had other women that I knew very well that went through that same experience, and their realizations were very different than mine. And I can only think it's, again, a God thing. How, like, when I was going through those situations, it was piercing in my heart, which how grateful I was for how I got there. Because like, I didn't force anyone. I didn't force Tessa to do what she did. She wanted to, right? And I felt led to do what I was doing. And it honestly kind of happened. It wasn't on accident, but it was like the last month of the year I realized that it was going to happen, right? It wasn't like all year I was like toothing and clawing to make it happen. But I realized in that moment that who is around you and how you feel on a day-to-day basis is far and away more important than how you're ever going to feel in that moment, on that moment of walking across the stage, or in that moment of going to this white party. Like, that will never feel as good as it does working in alignment every single day, doing it in a way that brings you joy, that brings you purpose, that feels aligned with how you're being called to live and work. Like, that is just so much more important. So in the same way, like, I have definitely learned to like release the outcomes, but know that I have been given, you know, a certain amount of time and resources and gifts that I really feel called to use in the best way that I can. So anyways, wow. I think I talked about, and I did want to say too, I kind of talked a little bit about it, but like a huge driver in my heart is growing and helping my coaches and inviting to coaching more. Something in the past that I haven't been very good at, but I realize within myself, and when I look around at the women on my team that are here and that I know will be listening to the recording, that like the women in my groups that are the most consistent in their wellness, and the ones that have felt and experienced a life change, something like transformative in a real and meaningful way, they're coaches. I mean, if I really want the best for my people, I need to help them be a coach and help them have success. Because I know within me, like, my whole story would have stopped a long time ago had I never decided to coach, right? So like, really helping my coaches, recruiting to coaching, and just growing a team of women that are like-minded and want to do this alongside me is huge. So, all right, next, I realize my internet is unstable and it like keeps, hopefully you heard some of that. I'm sure it went in and out. But next I just wanted to go, I know it's already 9, so we'll try to keep it short, but I'm going to type in the chat quick, just 4 quick things that I would love each of you, again, they're short things, that I'd love each of you just to share with the group, because I think it will help us all kind of learn who else, at least names and faces a little bit, but just also understand a little bit of your story as we go forward. So here, I'll type them quick. Where are you from? I don't know if it's gonna let me. What does your family or job situation look like? How many years have you been coaching? And since my team never gave me ideas, something you would like to talk about on future calls. So I type them in the chat so you have them in one spot. And you're all frozen again, my dumb internet. I'm gonna pick on Katie Martinez because I can see your face. If you'd like, oh, I'm glad you can hear me. Katie, if you'd like to share first, quick. And you'll have to unmute yourself when you start talking.
Okay, sure. Yeah, so I'm Katie. I town Terrell, Iowa this summer. I stay home with my kiddos. I do have a 4-year-old boy, so he's in preschool. And then my daughter will be 2 next month. Yeah, and I was a former elementary teacher, but yeah, since having kids now, the Lord's called me to stay home, which has been a huge blessing. My husband is a middle school and high school counselor. Something you like to talk about on future calls? Yeah, probably just, I don't know, I guess growing more confidence like as a coach, and yeah, just having more confidence as in like reaching out to other people and just making those connections. Because I feel like I always gravitate towards the ones that I've already connected with and who have already shown interest. And, it's like, but having those new conversations and just being, yeah, just confidence and like more boldness. But also realizing that that comes from the Lord too, the more that I dig in to who he sees me and who he calls me to be, then that'll continue to show and reflect my journey as well. Talk to more people, so yeah.
Thank you for sharing, Katie. Sally, I see you. Well, kind of. My internet stinks, but I know you're on. So if you could share next.
Yeah, I can share. I'm Sally. I am also from Orange City, but have lived in Minnesota since I got married, and my husband and I live in a small town called Waconia that is west of the Twin Cities. What are the other, okay, I joined Caitlin after I hit Diamond. Is that 2020? That had to be 2020 because it was during COVID. After I hit Diamond, I had enough people that I could keep running groups and I could keep being a coach even if I wasn't adding new people. So it doesn't look like I'm still coaching, but I still have girls. Finding space in my life for working the business. I used to be a kindergarten teacher, and now I am a full-time children, youth, and family minister at our church. So I work full-time. I have 3 kids. My time is flexible, but it's taking me longer than I thought to just get in a rhythm. 40. I'm really lonely. I'm really, really lonely right now. And I was scared to come on the call because um, I changed my job, and I thought like one of the goals for changing my job was that I was going to create more intentional time to work the business. But I was part of one of I don't know, it was one of Amber's groups. She had some, I don't know which one it we really, and all of a sudden she set this thing where like, I don't know if it was Success Club or what it was, but it was like you had to hit this goal, and if you didn't hit it, you were gonna get kicked out of the group. And like within a week, I got kicked out of the group, and I've just had this huge like emotional complex about it ever since, where like this community became like this community was the most and then it became like, oh shoot, if I'm not working consistently and if I'm not hitting goals, I'm not a coach and I don't belong. So I was very excited when Caitlin said she was joining up with Bethany, and I'm very encouraged by the faces that I see on this call. I love connecting with women. I love helping them find can out a bunch of goals, but I do really crave the connection with people like you. Just
Caitlin, are you
No.
frozen? Are you there?
There's like this weird sound. I didn't know if someone was talking, so I didn't want to interrupt.
I'll-
My internet is terrible. And it's funny because we even upgraded it and still I'm in a black hole here. But Tessa, I see you on. Do you mind sharing quick?
Yeah, I am Tessa. So yeah, so I stay at home with my 3 children, and 2 of which are in school most of the time. So it's just me and my youngest. At home, she's 4, and then 7 and 10. So yeah, and we just recently moved to the country after living in town. So that's been a huge change for our family this summer. I have been coaching for, let's see, 5 years, probably. I've technically been a coach, but I started under a different coach. And then she quit working in the business. And Caitlin and I reached out to Caitlin then, and we figured out a way for me to sneakily get to her. It was a process, but I'm here. That was probably, I don't know, a year and a half ago for sure that we started that whole process. But yeah, something I'd like to talk about on future calls is I definitely agree with Katie on the making the connections, and I do tend to reach out to the same people. And but I so badly just want those invitations to be genuine. I want them to be somebody who I truly want to connect with and talk with every day. And if I don't see myself like wanting to talk to them every day, I don't want to send them an invite. So just finding more of those people, finding the right words to say to them, just because I feel like I struggle with those words of inviting, and that it all just comes off so just not right, not me. And I haven't been able to find those right words. When I hit Diamond with Caitlin, a lot of them were my friends and family members and stuff. So, and most of those girls are still around. They're just not, they're not the monthly group type people. So I tried to run my own group this month, and I had one person show up a week late, my Facebook group. And so, yeah, so I would just like to find more people who are willing to show up every day, show up for me, show up for themselves. And yeah, just find like the genuine invites to people, because that drives me nuts and I can't do it. It like physically, like I can't do it. I can't do it. So yeah, so just like finding more of those ways to like feel genuine about the invitations and making those connections instead of not feeling salesy. And I just trying to find more people just to have more people, just to get those numbers on the, on the Success Club board. So
Yes.
I think I covered
that-
everything.
I love that. And honestly, I changed, hopefully slightly better. A huge part of like this and why I wanted to have this call was because I felt like that was a huge part of me when I started coaching too. Like I refused to send like 20 messages a day to people, and I refused to like have it not feel genuine. I told my husband a million times, like, I'd rather go back to CPA work than be messaging people and have it not feel good. And so like, I know that's part of why I'm so passionate about, like, I know I have been, I've had this level of success, and I know Bethany's the same way. And I know a couple of the leaders that are also on this call, Jesse and Aaron, like there are multiple people in this business that have had success that feels good, that doesn't involve, sending a bunch of scripted messages that don't feel good. Even April on my team, who I'm sure will be listening to this recording. So like, I'm excited to share and talk more about that, because I know a lot of us have figured that out, and just to be able to share and, mastermind about how we can all do that better so we can help more people. So anyways, I could go on more rambles. Amber, I see you.
All right, can you hear me? Yes, okay. My name is Amber Altna, and I am also from Orange City, and I am a lifer. I have been married to my husband a little over 15 years. He just started a new job, which should be giving me more freedom. I work full-time as a supervisor for Hope Haven in Orange City. It involves working with people with mental health issues and mental disabilities and coaching them. I've been there a little more than 13 years. We have 2 kids. Joanna is 14 and Sam is almost 11, and Joanna is autistic, so it takes a lot of time and energy out of me because she requires 24-hour care and supervision. I have been a coach just for a few months, but I've been part of the community for a little more than 4 years. And joined initially just because I wanted to feel better about myself, wanted to get into better shape. And I just started feeling better mentally, less feeling, I'm chasing that feeling, I guess. And I want to help more people feel that way. And it's my goal just to have more of those authentic relationships instead of, sending out, the mass emails and messages, etc. I would rather help one person sincerely, than send out, those 20 messages, I guess. And so my biggest fear is, the rejection, which I already deal with a lot of that in work and things that I do with work. But it just happened to me a lot in my life, prior. And that's something I really struggle with and that I'm working on.
Yes, and I think me and Bethany both just want coaching to be a cup filling experience. Like there's going to be challenge, right? There's going to be growth, but like we want this to be a place where you get energized. Because for me, for the longest time, that's what it's been. That's why I kept doing it, because it brought me joy. It gave me purpose. So we want that to be a place for everybody too. Bethany, do you have any coaches you'd like to?
Yeah. Several left it in the chat there, but
that.
Brooke, can you talk? There she is.
Yes, I just look really tired and I've lost my voice. So or it's coming back. I just sound terrible. So my name is Brooke. I'm from West Des Moines, Iowa. My husband is from Sheldon, though, which is near Orange City. So I have a connection with all you Northwest Iowa people. Let's see here, my family. I have a almost 8-year-old and almost 6-year-old. My youngest just went to kindergarten this year. So I've been a stay-at-home mom since right before my second was born, which is how I got into coaching or got into Beachbody. Rachel, who just jumped off, is the one that recruited me, who's under Bethany. And it honestly was, I mean, it saved me as a stay-at-home mom. I find just 30 to 45 minutes to moms. So I've been doing the coaching for 3 years. I do believe that there are God things because just, well, probably a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, I told Rachel and Robin is on our team as well, that I was ready to be done. A lot of the feelings I had was the same as Sally's. So I appreciate what you said, Sally. And what you as coaches have said too, is I feel like it has become much more about reaching these goals than it is about reaching people. And I was losing the passion. I also just got hired as to work part-time at our local community center to bring in a new program based off health and wellness, which my passion started by doing Beachbody. So I'm super excited about that. It starts in 2 weeks. And I'm also studying to get my personal trainer certification. So I have a lot of things going on right now. But I was telling Bethany in a message that as I'm studying for my PT, I just really am blown away about these workouts and what Beachbody does. And I love that it is a cheap option for people and especially for moms. So I still have a passion for it because I think it can meet a lot of people. But what I'm hoping these calls will do together is to help give us more of that content to share that is heartfelt, not so salesy. I feel like I've gotten to a rut and I just didn't know what to post anymore. I can show my workout, but I don't want to just show people what I'm doing during the day or talk about things that don't really matter. I want to be able to offer something that will mean something to somebody, but I feel like I need help in that, or at least brainstorming in that. So I'm hoping this group can do that. I feel like there are a lot more we can talk about than just kind of surfacey stuff. So I'm hoping my passion can come back, and I really appreciate what you all have said because I do want to just help other people. I don't care about being a diamond. I mean, that would be great, but that's not my goal. So a week ago, but I'm glad I'm on the call. So.
I'm so glad
you understood me.
Yeah. So, Robin, do you want to go? Can you talk?
Yeah, sorry. I'm like Zoom not good. It took me a really long time to get the chat to come up. Can you guys hear me? Yeah. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so I'm Robin Witt. I live in Des Moines, or West Des Moines. So I don't know. I was Air Force and then a spouse, and my neighbor up in Alaska got me kind of drinking Shakeology. And I, as a military person, you get like an awesome like deal where I don't pay to be a coach. So it's like, just like, oh, why not? You know? So I I don't know. I like got into a weird conversation about waffles, and like it was too like focused on like how fit are we going to be, how close are we adhering to portion fix. Like it just didn't feel right with me like as a Christian. And so Rachel Minart was like our MOPS coordinator, and so we were just friends on Facebook, and she started talking about like your team, and I was like, what is this team? I want to be on this team, you know? So it was probably like I don't know, miracle random coaching person that like was like, I'm going to quit coaching so I can join your team, basically. And I don't know, kind of like Caitlin, I thought, oh yeah, I'll be a coach and I'll post something and then everyone's going to want to do this too. And it really hasn't worked like that. And that's fine with me. I have like almost too many jobs. Like I'm homeschooling my kids part-time this year. Like they go to a classical academy Monday and Wednesday. So those are really only my days where they're gone. And I'm in the National Guard. So I work 1 weekend a month and I sometimes do trips as a business consultant, and it just, too. And that's, I don't know. I mean, gonna be lazy, but it's like I don't want to have these like back and forths that take me hours and hours and hours, and then oh, it's not for you, or I don't know. It's just it gets to be super frustrating. So like, yeah, I had the same experience as Sally. I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. They're gonna give me emails that I can send with templates. Like I've always wanted. I just want some PDFs that I can send to people. I don't want to do these never-ending messages all the time. And then I got kicked out because I didn't make Success Club. Like I've made Success Club like one time, but like I'm the person that buys a challenge pack for my cousin, or like, I don't know. I just not super good at selling stuff. I even feel kind of weird about selling stuff. like, and I don't really feel bad about it, but I'm happy to learn. Like, especially like it's really great that everyone's authentic about it. Like, because I really tried to get a hat once last year, and like I got the stuff wrong, and like I'm like buying the Shakeology from my girl that bought a challenge pack, and it's just so many like little things to understand that it does kind of make you want to give up. But I love our groups, and I don't want to quit doing it. And yeah, I don't know what else am I supposed
No,
to
that's
answer.
good, Robin. I think that's good. Like one thing that Caitlin and I have really, really talked about a lot is how as leaders, we want to help you guys do this the way you feel led to do this. And so I know for a lot of us, we've been put in those push groups, or like those groups where like in order to stay in this group, you need to do ABC. If you don't, you're out. For us, we're looking at this more as how do you feel led, anything we can teach you or help you with in order for you to be able to do that. Now, Robin, when I see you online, like I'm super inspired by your food, number one. And also just like you're so consistent with your workouts. Like there are days when I have watched you work out on stories and I'm like, all right, Bethany, get your tush downstairs and start it. Like, I mean, you have no idea how you do impact people in that way. And I know the groups that you and Brooke and Rachel, so you're not giving yourself enough credit.
Thank you.
But also to the fact that like you brought up a really good point. Like one thing, like I said, we've talked about is, I mean, yes, you can build an amazing business doing this. And that's a conversation we can definitely have with the people who want to have that conversation another day. But it's really important to us that we're supporting you in the capacity you feel led to do this. So don't feel sorry about it. Anything. No, don't. Yeah.
Thank you. It's my mission field to give people.
Oh, yeah, I've never like I said, your food posts, my mind is blown always. I'm like, how does she even come up with that? I mean,
Thank you.
the way you use your garden.
Yeah, totally agree. She inspires me.
Yeah.
You can find me on Instagram.
Okay, Caitlin, I think we've hit everyone.
I don't know.
You wanna no.
No. Erin, would you like to share?
I'll go. That's fine. Thank you guys so much for hosting this call, and thank you everyone for everything you shared, because I am like totally inspired. I am from Fresno, California. It's like right in the middle of California. My family situation
Oh.
is that I have 7 kids that are ranging from 1 year to 12 years old,
Oh.
including a set of twins in there. So that is happening. That's brand new information for Caitlin and Erin. I know. Nothing like being on a road trip and buying a pregnancy test in the Target on your grocery run. And yeah. Anyways, so that's where I'm at in life. I've been coaching for 6 years, and I feel so much of Bethany. My goals have changed. My life has shifted a ton. I feel like 2020 sort of derailed a lot of, or made me feel a little bit disillusioned in a lot of what our community and our company had to offer, things that I was aspiring to, that I guess I felt like let down. And it really made me reevaluate my priorities and my focus in life and in the business. And just like Bethany said, like, I love the workouts. Like, my husband and I joke, we bleed Beachbody Blue because we love the workouts. We love the shake. We love all the products. Like, we love working out together. That's never going to change. We're lifers. And so I feel like my perspective has really changed from like, what can I achieve? Like, what's the shiny thing I can get in this business, or what it's done for our health and like where it's put us in life. Just so many good things, so many blessings from it. And so I did sort of take a step back from pushing the last 2 years. And Caitlin actually reached out to me in August to be part of Team Cup. I have not been a part of like the community in a very long time. And it was really good for me. And mentioning this call, was really excited to hop on. I also am very lonely. There are no big families where we live. It's, I think we all have things where we just feel like we stick out or we don't fit in or like we're excluded for different reasons. And for me, sorry guys, having a big family is something that we are very convicted about. And like, I love it, but it sort of makes us ostracized at the same time, which is hard. So one of the things I love about the community is that when I joined, I felt like it was very accepting of like who I was and what I brought to the table. Really resonate with what a lot of y'all are saying. So it makes me feel really good because I feel like I have an awesome story with my health on this platform. And also I feel like with coaching, I think one of you said like, I think it was Brooke, like hearing people talk and like reminding me that like we are authentic in what we're offering to people. Like, this is really not salesy and it's not surface level, but like you can make this deep and you can make this meaningful. And I feel like just being in a community that is all about that we're not just saying like, get the numbers, get the rank, but we're talking about the action behind it. We're talking about the emotion behind it. We're talking about the purpose behind it. And I think that's what I'm really, looking forward to with these calls, is just to kind of keep me fired up and reminding me, just how grateful I am for this whole journey. So that's, sorry, I'm pregnant, you guys. So I'm like all hormonal, but that's my spiel.
Good luck following that up, Erin.
Yeah, I'm not pregnant and I'm probably gonna be hormonal. So my name is Erin Trier. I live in Park City, Utah. I'm from like the Midwest. I grew up in Chicago, outside Chicago, lived there my whole life, and then moved out west about 5 years ago with our family. And it's been the best decision ever. We love living in the mountains. I'm a mom of 4. My oldest is 11 and my youngest will be 3 in about 2.5 weeks. So our family situation, I stay home with the kids. I work my Beachbody business. And then I also have a little mindset shop that I launched at the beginning of 2020. And it's been a really huge blessing for me. It's a great creative outlet that I've been craving to create. And I kind of just let it flow as I feel led to create within it, right? To empower women and to walk alongside women in just a creative way, in addition to the health and wellness piece. And something I'd like to talk about, honestly, like, I just want to echo what everyone's saying. Like, I also am very much in the same boat. Like, I have felt very lonely. I have felt like, I've experienced a lot in this business in the 6+ years I've been in it. I've had to work really hard the past 2.5 years on reprioritizing my life, setting much better boundaries, getting real and honest about what actually matters to me in my life, what actually serving people feels like. And because, like some of you have expressed, it's really put me in this place of feeling very much on an island and very alone. But that was a boundary that I needed to put in place for my own personal wellness. I kind of got to this place where I was just pushing for the wrong things and really lost sight of why I'm doing this and why it matters. And that's been like I said, a growth process for me. So I think, like, I love, Caitlin and Bethany, how much you talked about just like the importance of having this focus on, like, what do you feel led to do in this business, and meeting and really talking very strongly and specifically about, like, the boundaries that you have in place for you and your life and your personal wellness are what matter most. And you can serve in a way that you feel led with those in place. And that's okay, right? That's how we feel empowered to continue to serve, by making sure that we're really protecting ourselves and taking care of our own health and wellness. Because I know for me, like all of you have mentioned in some way, like, taking care of you is why up, and why we started. That's why I started. And so I love that. I just love that focus, Bethany and Caitlin. It's incredibly powerful. And I 100% relate with so much of what you guys are sharing. And so I think continuing to talk about that, and just, again, holding space for whatever you feel led to do, like, game changing for us as women. And I mean, honestly, all I can say right now is thank you. Thank you for this call. Like, thank you for this space. I haven't had this space in years. I haven't felt like I've had this space in years. And that's been hard for me. But I'm really grateful for you guys.
It's definitely full circle to be here. And yeah, I just wanted to, I guess we were already way over time. We planned for a half hour and we're at over an hour. But yeah, I hope you all are seeing this too, how, like, it's pretty incredible how all of our visions and hearts are all in the same space. And heart and vision, it is an interesting balance that really that see it, recognize it, and value no matter what, right? Like you're saying. But yeah, speaking from experience, it is an interest, have the space and the want and even the time to work hard and want to work hard, and then still, like, leave the outcome up to him. But yeah, it's a balance, right? And so I just being around other people that are going to speak truth to you and in love, and you're going to know that they're going to be there for you no matter what. That's the most powerful thing that we can do for one another. And I know within me, like, I have just this fire to show anyone and everyone that it's possible to work this business in a way that feels good, and that you can actually reach people and have success with it. Because gosh, that's in that space where it's really hard to, even if you have a lot of hours, it's really hard to stay disciplined. So that's part of it too, right? we always, part of Michelle Myers is iron sharpens iron, right? So I absolutely want everyone on this call to feel valued, no matter what you feel led to do. I want you to feel accepted. I want you to feel welcome. I want you to feel that you have a place here, that you have space here, that you have a voice here, and that I feel like you've been brought here for a reason. But in the same breath, I never want us to use that reason not to give everything that he's asked of us, right? And that's the magic balance, right? Because that's when I start getting really fired up, when I know that I'm using every bit of what I've been given and giving it to other people, and not just being complacent or stuck in a negative mindset, or all the things. So I'm really excited for these calls, and I hope you are too. But I'll stop talking. Bethany, do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I don't think so right now. I have been meeting Friday mornings, and we'll kind of compile some of the things you guys mentioned about wanting to talk about moving forward. And just some of the, like, as we kind of process and debrief like our conversation here tonight, I think there'll be other things that have stuck out. Like, one thing I think that we definitely need to cover, what do surrendered results look like? And so, like, again, coming alongside each other and helping our individual callings, doing this how we feel led. And then that accountability comes to not like this, everybody's got to hit this, everybody's got to hit that. The accountability is, okay, you feel called to do this in this way. So that means you feel like you should be doing A, B, and C, and we're going to hold you accountable for A, B, and C, not her A, B, and C, not my A, B, and C, but whatever yours is. So I think there's going to be just, we'll ask you, because we're asking it of ourselves, is to really, how do I need to steward this business? What does that look like for me? Some of the things I'll just share that I need to do, because I've gotten lazy. It is lazy. Writing. I did a lot of writing before, not necessarily learning how to do reels or like sharing daily clips of our lives. That's not where I feel like a push. I do feel like I am being pulled to write and to share more on that. Another thing, there is a list of what felt just like kind of a nudge to reach out to for both coaching and for clients. But like Robin said, those conversations back and forth take energy and they take time. And so it's setting the discipline. Okay, Bethany, you are feeling a nudge. You need to be doing this right now. You're being disobedient because you're not doing it. There's the discipline piece. You create the time because you know you can find it. And you do it because it's easy to find excuses, especially like I'm a stay-at-home mom of 4. I can fill my time with a million things, but that time exists if we find it and make, room for it. But then the grace in all of it and the surrendered results are, okay, I've told myself I need to do this a half an hour every day from whatever time to whatever time. Outside of that, I'm not going to stress myself out about it. Like, I've done what I've needed to put in. I'm going to surrender the results, and I'm going to feel really good about how I loved people and serve people within these that I've set. So I think, yeah, each of us are going to need to kind of sort through, what does this look like for me? Being able to vocalize that, and then allowing your coaches to kind of encourage you and help hold you accountable for those things that you've set for yourself, if that makes sense. So anyway, okay, that was more than I intended on saying. So we'll let you guys go, because I know there's women who are going to watch this call. And so the longer I drag this out, the longer they're going to have. Jess, congrats. Number 8. That's awesome. I just needed to say it. Okay. I'm happy for you guys. All right, Caitlin, are we good? All right, we're good. We'll see you girls.